It's an honor to be asked to do this video for Mike. Mike was a great friend and somebody that I have a great respect for. Just wanted to talk about a few things today that really made him special to me, and special to probably most everybody that'll be watching this video. Mike was faithful. Thinking of what that means to me, it's unyielding. Mike was unyielding in his faith, and he was unyielding with his family, unyielding in his commitments to his faith and to, like I said, to his family, and certainly to his ball players and OBU softball. Mike was uncompromising as a man in character, and honor, integrity, and his convictions, words that, we don't hear a lot of anymore. Things that really truly make a man at the end of the day. That's I always said, and I've heard him say it too, your character was what you do when you thought nobody was looking. Mike was that kind of guy. He was the same all day, every day, and he was uncompromising with his convictions. Right, wrong, black and white. He was probably one of the most absolute people I'd ever met that never did negotiate those things. Mike was unconditional. He was unconditional with his love for his family, for Deb and Beth and Ryan. That's all he talked about. To his mother, who I can remember, every week he would go to meet her to help clean the church. I know, though I never talked to her about it, I know it meant as much to her that her son would come and help her clean that church every week, as much as it meant to Mike to go help his mama. I think that's a lot of times we look at men and you want to know what their heart looks like. You just see how they treat their mothers, how they treat other women. And Mike, like me, had a lot of women in his life. His wife, Beth, and all these players. It certainly was attributable to his character. Mike was unconditional to OBU, to the college, and to OBU softball, and like I said, to his church. He was unconditional. Mike was a great father. Mike was a great father to his kids. He talked about Ryan and Beth all the time, and he was so proud of you guys, of what you were doing and what you accomplished. And to his players, man, if you played for Mike, he was like your dad. He held you accountable, but when it wasn't going well, he'd hold you. And he loved every one of his players, just like his own kids. One of the very reasons that I sent Sarah to Ouachita was because I knew Mike McGee would be a father to my daughter when she was 3.5 hours away from my house, and she was the baby, and that was important to me. Mike was a compassionate man, one of the biggest men I ever knew, huge man, Big Mike. But he was compassionate to his family, like I said, to Beth and Debbie and Ryan and to his players, and as I've described, to his mother. Mike was a considerate man. A lot of times you see somebody that's that big and as impressive a person as Mike was. Mike would do anything for anybody. I have seen him sacrifice his own self and time and efforts to even some folks that probably wouldn't have done that for Mike, and that I witnessed during my time of being there. I've seen him and know of and heard him talk to him many times, talk to him at night. He would drive for hours to go watch a kid play one high school softball game. because she asked him to, or because he made a commitment to, or because he just wanted to show her the respect and regard of what it meant to be a player for OBU softball and Mike McGee. Mike was courageous, and raising money and for that softball team. He would go try to recruit players that were certainly probably more talented than they needed to be to play at OBU, but Mike was never afraid to go up to a kid that was a great ball player and just sell himself, his character, and his integrity in that program in that college. That he had the ability to take girls and make women out of them. Not only on that field, but as a mentor, like I said, like a father, somebody that would teach your kids, and he taught mine the honor and integrity and character and what all those things mean, and he showed his faith. He exhibited his faith every day on a field of play, and that in this day and time, that is courageous. One of the things I heard him say many times when we were doing recruiting, and in this day and time, you can't hardly do this. Certainly, maybe it's even difficult for a faith-based institution. But old Mike would always say in front of those dads, because at the end of the day, you had to convince the dads to let them send their daughters to your school and to let you coach them. But he'd say at Ouachita, you can have a boyfriend, but you can't have a girlfriend. And Mike was serious about that, and he lived his convictions. He was courageous in those kind of statements. Mike was a friend. Mike was a friend to his colleagues, OBU coaches and the other coaches. There was not a coach in whatever Division 1 all the way down to JUCO, that didn't respect Mike and for what he stood for and the kind of players that he had and the way he coached and the way he treated others. He was always quick to lend a hand. I've seen him do that for other coaches and other folks, that when we didn't have the time, or he certainly didn't have the time or the resources, Mike would sacrifice it all for his fellow colleagues down there at OBU. Mike was a coach, and he'd do anything for the girls. He was a friend of them too, though he was a father figure and he was their coach, and he was very stern in his convictions, expectations, and his rules. Mike was your friend. At the end of the day, when they made mistakes or got into trouble, though he might hand their head to them, he would always arm them up and comfort them and be a friend when they needed it. And I will say Mike was my friend, somebody that I spent 2 years at Ouachita Baptist as a coach and as a student. Mike was an encourager and somebody that I truly loved like a brother. Somebody that would lay down his life for any of us. He was that kind of guy. I used to teach Sunday school, and I told these young boys, 10th grade boys, when I would teach their Sunday school class, that the older we get, the less friends that we truly really have. A man's got many acquaintances with Mike as a coach. We met when we were recruiting. We met many, many people and many dads, players, other coaches, and they were acquaintances. We weren't close to them. But a man ends up at the end of the day with few friends, and you start. The older we get, we look back, and you really only need 6, because a casket's only got 6 handles. And I can tell you, when you get my age, I'm 56. I have few that I will call true friends, people that be there for you, be a confidant, and not ask a question, just show up, give you whatever you needed. And I've got a few of those. Mike, I lost a great friend. I think Proverbs 27:17 for me Mike is my friend, summed it up. Iron sharpens iron, So one person sharpens another. Mike sharpened me. I'm a better person, a better man for having had a friend like Mike, spent the time and saw what he did for Sarah, the difference that he made for me and all those girls that came through his program. It's a great chasm that I'll have, and so many others probably share this exact same thought. But in closing, I'm going to go to Matthew. Matthew 25:14, Christ is telling the parable of the talents to his disciples. And in that parable, there's three different folks got three different talents. And the one with five that he gave five, he took those talents and he took advantage of those, and he was faithful. Mike, as I said up front, was a faithful man, unyielding, uncompromising, unconditional. Mike took his talents that God had given him, and he earned five more. And this is what Christ told Mike the day he went to be with his Lord. And then that day his Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things, and I'll make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." Mike was a simple guy and a great person. And I believe today that faithful servant is a ruler over many things. I'm sorry that with the responsibilities I've got, that I can't be there with you guys on Sunday. But no, I love Mike as a brother, as a friend, and he's truly missed. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a great honor.